Imagine walking into a room and instantly commanding attention, not through force, but through genuine connection and empathy. Hi there, it's Heather Younger, and today we're diving into how active listening and caring leadership can transform your workplace relationships and elevate your respect among colleagues. Stay tuned to discover the key strategies that can make a world of difference in how you're perceived and valued at work and beyond. So you want respect from other people, huh? Well, we first have to reframe what we think of respect. First, number one, we need to define what we think respect is for us, because we can't give what we don't have. We can't even give what we don't even know is true or not. And we can't measure against it whether we're giving enough respect and then if we're receiving any return. So I want you first to define that. And then I want you to be thinking about first, how can you give respect before you expect to get respect? Let me give you an example. Over the first 10 to 15 years of my career, I really set out to get the respect of other people around me. Part of it is based upon my backstory of maybe not feeling respected enough, not feeling like my voice was important, just not feel like I was an important or a valued person even in my own family. And then I started to realize that I was going to get nowhere if I focused always on the respect, getting the respect of someone else and not giving it in return. So I want you to be reframing respect from the perspective of, how am I going to serve the other person? How am I going to give to the other person first? And maybe I'll get something in return. Listen, I do believe that respect is something as human beings we should be having right off the bat. But there are levels of it, gradations of getting respect. And if we want respect at the highest level, we have to lean in first to respect other people. We can't expect to just get it automatically. So respect in that sense is earned by our efforts, by our actions, doing what we say we're going to do, being there to uplift other people, standing up, piping up our voice when things aren't right, being a person of integrity. All these things help us earn more respect. Instead of figuring out how we get it, though, giving it will be the most important first. Jumping off the first one that I talked about, it is this idea of giving abundantly, showing more and more respect to people abundantly, giving of ourselves, of our time, of our intelligence, of our presence, of our space to others in such large amounts that we almost feel like we can't give any more, and then we need to give some more. I mean, the more that we give to the people that are around us, the more we automatically gain their respect. It's not that we are giving just for the sake of getting back, but that we are loading into other people, that we are pouring into them. And at first, they may not quite think it is real or genuine, but over time, they will see that it's true. Let me give you an example. One time I was working with a team member, and I'd been in this organization for 4 years, and it was somebody in a different department. And he, for the life of me, I could not get him to trust me. I think he had a certain level of respect just because of what I had achieved, but I think he just still had this doubt on whether or not I was genuine and how I would always try to be looking at how we could really uplift his department in the eyes of the customer and even the internal people and internal leaders. And I just think he always questioned it until one day I brought him with me on a client visit, and he could see that how I was inside of the organization was how I was on the outside of the organization. And it made a big difference for him. And I think after that point, our relationship changed, but it took 3 years for me to gain, I think, the level of respect I hoped for. But that's because I really spent years and years and years pouring into him, pouring into his team, pouring into that relationship, and then he could see how it reflected on the outside. The third thing I want you to focus on, which again now jumps off of the second one I just shared, which really is this idea of being authentically you. When I took that time in that previous example to be who I was, which is just somebody who naturally serves others, someone who naturally recognizes and shows appreciation for others, and he could see that I did the same thing with the client. And then I talked about him in his face to the client like I talked to him inside the organization. So there was this level of authenticity and genuineness that really bubbled to the surface that helped me gain his respect over time. By the time I left there, I wouldn't say we were best friends, but there was, you could tell, a level of respect between both of us. He then had I have elevated his mind, he had elevated my mind, and now our relationship now is one of a closer bond as a result. But I had to do all the pouring. I had to be authentically me. I had to be genuine in order to get to that point where he could really see me as a colleague who could be trusted, as one who really deserved a higher level of respect. And because of that, I felt that respect as well. I think another thing that goes along with being genuine and authentic is being congruent. And when I mean congruency, I do believe it's one of the most important things we can be out in the world. Congruency really is doing what we say we're going to do. It is like being who we say we are, or it's like doing what we say we value. There's this kind of alignment that's there. And what often happens is that we get really misaligned. And in people's minds, they see incongruencies. They see how we say this is the thing we value, but then we go do a different thing. And so that's what they're visualizing or experiencing inside their mind and their relationship with us. And so it's up to us to create more alignment with what we say we value and what we stand for and what we actually go do. So when we think about respect inside of an organization or at work or on a team, whether it's from those above us, those inside of us, those in our team, as we're a new manager, whatever that might be, we need to be looking at what are the ways that could be in misalignment, things that are not aligned between what we say we value and how we act. Here's an example. Let's say you say, I have an open door policy, and I want anybody to come in whenever you feel like you need to come talk to me. But then when someone comes towards you, you're like, and you start to growl at them because you're like, they are thinking, wait a second, she said that it's an open door policy, but I get a negative feeling whenever I go towards her door when I'm doing an unannounced with not an appointment or any kind of thing that we have on our calendar. That would then be incongruent because I say that I value an open door policy, but when they come towards me, I am giving a negative vibe like, please do not come towards me. So I think that thinking about and evaluating the ways in which you are being congruent or incongruent with what you say you value, what you stand for, will be huge. It'll go a long way in making sure that you can gain the respect that you want out of work. Congruency is absolutely critical. The last thing I want to talk about is listening. And I talk a lot about listening, actively listening, where we lean in to really get and gather another person's view, opinion, and the things that they need from us. When we want to gain more respect at work, when we lean in, and I mean lean in hard, to get to the bottom of what another human wants out of work, in front of us, from us, when we do that, we automatically endear them to us. We say to them, I respect you because I'm giving you my 100% focused time and presence. And when you do that, they say, wow, this person's different. They're not like the rest of the people in the world where we're all distracted and we're all out of place and we're not really giving people the presence. When you are that person that leans in hard to find out how you can solve for another person's problem, how you can be there in their corner, how you can show them that you're the champion for them, then they automatically sense and want to give you kind of a gift too, and that gift is their respect. So as we go and summarize or look at all the things I talked about, do you notice that most of this respect gaining thing has a lot more to do with respect giving? And isn't it exciting that you get to be the catalyst for this type of respect at work? And also that you don't have to ask permission for it, that you don't have to wait around for somebody to show you how to do it. It is intuitive. Lean in to listen. Be authentically genuine. Be authentically congruent with what you say you value. Make sure that you're understanding what this whole respect thing means and that you're prepared in your mind to give more than you're expected to get in return. That is how you'll gain more respect at work. Good luck on your journey to showing more respect than you get. Take care.